Hello, and welcome back to Lind API Academy. My name is Kay, and this is episode 5 in our introduction to Lind API series. In this series, we are going to be exploring all of the functions and features within the Lind API ecosystem and utilizing the Lind API platform to build a lending product from scratch. So with that being said, let's get started. In the last video, we left off building our pre-approval flow in Product Studio. So we were able to lay out our front-end user experience for our pizza personal loan in our Product Studio workflow. In today's video, I want to set up the rest of the fundamental connection points before we move on to the next big build, which is our Rule Studio. So as we've spoken before, there are two main fundamentals that are utilized in Lind API when setting up your product. The first being Variable Studio, and then the second being Decision Outcome. We've already leveraged our Variable Studio to create our variable library, and what I want to do now is create some decision outcomes that we can leverage for our Rule Studio. So before you can start to build out your Rule Studio, it's important to understand what kind of outcomes you want to generate from your rules, whether they are approve, decline, review, or request documentation. You'll note that Lind API does have a few out-of-the-box outcomes for you listed out here. And these are standard across all fintech and financial services products. So when you're ready to start building your decision tree or even your pricing engine, the first step is always to set out some standard outcomes. And these are triggers that will happen throughout the application. They could be manual triggers, they could be automated triggers, depending on how your application functions. So with that being said, let's get started. When you navigate to your decision outcomes function, you'll see our 4 out-of-the-box decisions. And to add a new decision, all you have to do is navigate to your desired decision outcome and add a new outcome. So today we're going to be adding a pre-approved outcome for our flow. Since we've created a pre-approval flow for our pizza personal loan, we want to have an outcome to come with it. So in this, we will name it the pizza pre-approval. Okay. And we will set a description for this. So this outcome will be set to trigger when a user has been pre-approved. You'll note that there is a identity button here, identity checkbox here located for each outcome. This is simply to trigger whether this particular outcome has anything to do with identity, which will then require a PII, such as your social security number or date of birth. And by selecting this, we will make sure that the proper masking takes place in that PII. since this is a generic pre-approval, we're going to set it as is, which requires no identity. And with that, I am ready to set my pre-approval outcome, and you'll see it has been populated in my approval library. And you'll also notice that I can actually edit this outcome. So when I click to edit this outcome, there are a couple of things that I can do. One is I can set an email template to trigger along with this outcome. And what this means is once this particular outcome has been reached within your decision tree, this email trigger will automatically be sent out to the user. And for us, we can set certain email triggers as we go along. Secondary to that is I can also set a provider to be triggered when this outcome has been reached. Meaning, if I have a specific data provider or even payments or authentications, I can automatically trigger these events to happen once this outcome has been reached in my decision tree. And of course, I can always reset this as identity if necessary. So for now, we will set this outcome as is. And with that, let's set a decline outcome to generate as well. Again, to add a decline outcome, you will do the same thing, which is simply set this outcome with a description. So let's submit our decline outcome. So now we have our pre-approval outcome as well as our decline outcome. And this should be more than enough for us to start to generate some data points for our decision tree. But before we get started, I think it's also important to understand that we can set some email templates. So let's go ahead and set a pre-approval email template to trigger along with our outcome. For this, we will navigate to the email template, and you'll see if you are starting out as a new user to Lind API, you will probably not have anything listed within your templates, but you can simply add a new template by clicking this button and creating a template name. So for us, we will do this as our pre-approval with a subject. You've been pre-approved. And we want to set this email to trigger once a user has been pre-approved. So once you created a new email template, you'll be taken to our template edit page where you can set a template type, which offers you account creation, password reset, reminders, withdrawals, offer signed, and of course, verification. All of these can be triggered at different points or can be auto-triggered based on the selection type. For us, we are utilizing this as an outcome to be triggered once a outcome has been met. So for this, we'll set this as outcome, and we will set this to be triggered when our pizza pre-approval outcome has been selected. So once we're ready, we will also start to create our email, our template structure and body. What do we want this email to say, and how should we address it? You'll notice that this particular email allows you to have our rich text editor, which means you can edit this email in any format you want. So let's get started. I think for this we will keep it very simple. Congratulations, you've been pre-approved. One thing to note is Lind API allows you to customize your emails with different variables as well. So if you want to set dynamic variables such as putting the applicant's first and last name, we can do so here. All you have to do is add the variable utilizing this button right here. So I think it's a good idea to make this email a little bit more customizable for the user. So let's add the applicant's first and last name for more personal touch. And all I have to do is select the variable, which would be the first name followed by the last name. And you will see both of these variable codes have been added to my email template, which means when this email gets sent out, said applicant's first and last name will also appear. So for this, let's wrap up our email body. All right, I think a short, sweet email should do us. And we will wrap this up with a signature. Of course, the rich text editor allows me to have the capability to edit this in any font or any way I want. But I think we'll keep this simple. A few other things to note here is you have the capability to add documents such as contracts or offer letters or agreements. To do so, all you have to do is select the offer letter or document from our pre-existing list. To upload a document, simply go to the document library and upload your documents or agreements in our library, and they will appear here. Of course, you also have the capability to create your custom agreements directly utilizing our agreements function here. And if your email requires a specific template upload, such as a driver's license or passport or even a bank account template as part of your email body, you can do so by clicking the document upload template. And clicking this, you can select from a list of document upload templates that you've created. And we will teach you how to create certain customized templates in a future video. And for us, I think we feel comfortable to be ready to send this email out to our applicants. So once I'm ready to send this out, I will simply save my template and send out a test. And to send out a test, just input your test email, click send, and this email body along with the subject line will be sent to your test email to make sure that it matches the style and content that you require. So with that, I think we're ready to connect our email to our outcome. I can go back to my outcome and choose the email template I just created. And now this outcome is ready to be triggered within our Rule Studio. Thank you for watching this video, and we hope to catch you on the next one.